And then you see like the business type activities, looks like the water's in the hole. And that's unusual for this time is because they had purchased some water meters, and there was some bond issue that helped pay for the water meters, and that's listed down, you know, down the bottom of the page under bond proceeds. So at first glance you look at that and you say, oh, look like the water went in the hole again. And you get bond proceeds, so it's fine to point that out. Then it also shows that the total cash on hand as of June 30th was $938,000. And that's not too bad, but you can see your total expenses are $4.6 million per year. So if you put that in perspective, you know, that's not like you're building up a lot of cash reserves. I'm sure you know after just going through all your budget doing, you know. That's kind of what I wanted to point out. That's your snapshot, you know, the city, you know, finances there. And then in the back, I usually have, way in the back, I have the comments and recommendations that we found. And they start on page 43. And there really wasn't very many. I think the books, you know, go really smooth. It just takes, you know, the time to go through and double check what I want to check. And I usually, on your size city, I always have a internal control comment because you don't have a rule division of duties because one person does quite a few things. And I think you're doing as best as you can, you know, what you have, but you don't want to hire an extra person just to, you know, make sure you have perfect segregation of duties all the time. And then the other things we have to comment on whether or not we found any discrepancies, like the budget wasn't exceeded during the year, and I didn't find any problems with any disbursements or travel expenses. And I did, out of all the disbursements I tested, we did find one invoice we didn't find approved in the minutes. We don't know for sure what happened, but it didn't get approved in the minutes or didn't get published in the paper. It just got left off the claims list. And the only other thing that I noted was that per the Code of Iowa, for the City Finance Committee, they want the local option sales tax should be like in a special revenue fund. And that's been corrected now. We talked about that before, but by the time I'm always auditing like a year later, and so we figured this out, and this last year was almost done already. So this has been corrected by the time you're seeing the books now.
So it has been corrected?
Yeah. And then basically, and I like that idea too, because then you can see where your local option money is being spent. You know, because if somebody comes and says, where's my 1% sales tax, you expend, it's easier to get your own special revenue fund. And those were like some highlights I wanted to go through. And I didn't know if anybody, Sandy, had anything else you wanted me to comment on? If anybody here had any questions, or if there's anybody had any questions from?
I have a question. Mm-hmm. In the summer of 2006, the city instituted a stormwater utility.
Okay.
Is that reflected in the, because in the budget that they're submitting to the state, or proposed one that I saw, did not show any revenues, but in fact they received some $36,000 in revenues last fiscal year. Doesn't show anything projected for this fiscal year, but it's going to be some $39,000. But I just wondered if, in fact, you were aware of that stormwater utility, and do you have it reflected in your audit?
Yep. Yeah, I read that was reflected in the council minutes that was approved, and the fees are included in with the sewer enterprise fund.
Yes. Does it show though that in fact we have a stormwater utility in your audit?
It's blended in with the sewer right now.
At least you're aware of it.
Yep.
Okay.
And we're doing a little research to see if that has to be in a separate line item or if it's okay to be included within the sewer.
Well, the only thing that bothers me is that when people come to work on a wastewater treatment plant, they think there's extra money in the wastewater treatment sewer fund, when in fact not all that is wastewater treatment.
Thank you.
Okay?
Are there any other questions or
Yeah.
comments from anyone? We appreciate you coming
Okay?
and explaining to us. Thank you very much.
Quick, so my number's in here in the front if you have any other questions as the year goes on.
Thank you very much. Could I have a motion to approve the fiscal year 2006, 2007 audit?
So moved.
Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Is there a call for a vote? Councilman Johnston?
Yes.
Brenny?
Yes.
Frederick?
Yes.
Hampton?
Yes.
Motion carried.